Right, let's get going. First photo. There's a bear shit in the woods. Yes, there's proof. Got a photo on it. Let's clear that one up. Right, my next talk is a compost ready to use within a month. This is in Shropshire, Friday the 30th of June, so end of the month. Whitchurch Civic Centre. This is in the High Street. Doors open at 7 for a 7:30 start. Non-members, £3 interest fee. That is the front car park. I think you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars on it. I've got me a space, put the parking around the back. Anybody's interested. Right, this is from one of the speakers when I did that talk a couple of weeks ago to the farmers down in Wolverhampton. This was one of our speakers. And, just food for the brain, really. Just common sense, but it is interesting. So if you just remember food for the brain, then Google it, and you'll get loads of stuff up. And it goes through this half the risk of developing dementia, Alzheimer's is preventable. They're quite knowledgeable. This was on the box last night. Paul O'Grady, they've given the freedom of Liverpool. Not much cop to him. Why don't they give it people while I'm alive? The mind boggles at times. That was one for Andy, but I don't think he's on yet. I was waiting for him to give us the name of the chap. I'll see him during the week. Ben's doing well down in London. He's got loads of stuff all over the place. In fact, I think he's got about, walking through here, about 10 different posters all the way through. Britain Got Talent. I reckon the Russians or the Chinese have infiltrated, and that's why that brain with the IVs won. Right, it's my mate up north, because I'm always keep going on about my seaweed if anybody goes to the seaside. So he took a photo and he sent me that. I thought that would last you a week or so, wouldn't it? Chopped up, dried, excellent. Saw this one a couple of nights ago, if anybody gets the chance. Guy Ritchie, I like his films anyway. But a true story, which I like. But this is a good story. Excellent, if you get the chance to watch it. Right, greenhouse, this weather, if it does get too hot, which it does, I mean, I've got automatic vents, as you can see there, but I'm still open even further, and I'm wedging a plastic bottle in them. I've got windows the other side as well, and obviously the door's still open. But what I used to do, if it does get still too hot, get me some self-raising flour, bit of cold water, mix them up, and I just paint it on with an old brush, and it dries within half a minute, and that will keep it nice and cool, stop burning plants or anything like that. You can either do half the greenhouse at the top of it if you only got benching up the top, but it does keep it nice and cool. And when it starts getting you need to take it off, or you get a bit cloudy for a week or so, just warm water with a scourer, and it comes off easily. I'll just give that a quick scrub and then get the watering can on it with fresh water, and it comes up nice and clean. Also during the day, I'll water the pathway. That keeps it nice and cool in there as well. It helps to keep the greenhouse nice and cool. Right, our first inputter tonight is Nigel Coe, our gladioli man. You ready, Nigel?
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Good man, thank you, sir. All yours.
Thank you. Moving away from the gladioli, like I said, mixed some photos of a little day out that myself and my wife managed to get on our own for a change last Friday. We visited a place called Biddulph Grange, which is a National Trust property on the Staffordshire Moorlands / Cheshire border. It's about 20 odd years since I've been there. Some of you might know that I used to work in industry, and then the factory closed down, so then I did all my horticultural qualifications, and Biddulph Grange was one of the gardens that we had to visit as part of our sort of training and do sort of reports on and things like that, why it was there, what it was there for, etc. So I thought after 20 odd years it might be worth just popping back and having a look at. And this time of the year is one of the better times because all the rhododendrons and azaleas are out. It's built up the side of a quarry and was built specifically by a guy called James Bateman, who was a horticulturist stroke local landowner. So he got plenty of money and plenty of time on his hands. And he laid these gardens out, and it's a really, really good visit for an afternoon. Well, we're more supposed to that. We're obviously pulling in flower at the moment. Some massive great things, beautifully full of flower, and my wife said the scent off them was fantastic. I've got no sense of smell since I had COVID. It hasn't returned back yet, but my wife said it was lovely. So yeah, so with the first one we saw like nice sort of pinky red one. This one, beautiful sort of rosy purple. Next one, Mick. Bit of a close up. Hoping to get a bee in that one, but it disappeared just as I pressed the shutter on. So, but again, sort of lovely colours on them, and the size is fantastic. And some of these plants have been there since the gardens were laid out in the 1860s. Very, very few labels on anything though, so I'm assuming that the people who do the gardening there actually know what they've got and what to do with them. But, nothing there really to sort of help the general public too much. Okay, mate. Again, this time of year, fantastic, fantastic sort of leaf coverage on the local trees, and again, some of the specimens there, 150 years old. Some of them may even have been there when the gardens were started. But the walks on them fantastic, and it was a really hot day last Friday when we went. Walking under these trees was quite a bit of a bonus, really, to nick a bit of shade. This is what we call the lime walk.
All right.
Yeah, sorry, this is what we call the lime walk. So it's all sort of lime trees going up towards the gate at the top there. Everything radiates out from a central sort of house. And you can actually do a sort of circular walk round, but you're best just ambling around the place and finding your way. And sort of all these little nooks and crannies and little corners that you sort of suddenly happen across. It's quite interesting. Okay, Mick, thanks. That's the biggest urn I've ever seen. I'm about 5'11", and it's taller than me, and it's about as far across as me as well. So how many bags of compost it takes to put in there and do out the trailing plants, I don't know. I can't really see that they ever do that, but it's certainly a bit of a feature, and it's a bit of a trek to get up to it as well. But there's a couple of benches at that end, so big walk up a hill, up a tree-lined avenue, have a rest, and then set off to the next bit. Thanks, Mick. This is the bit I really liked. I liked it 20 odd years ago when I went. It's still there. The Victorians were into these things called stumperies. So basically, you get a load of old trees that have been cut down, dig them all out, turn them upside down, bury the trunks, and have the roots stuck up in the air. And then you interplant the roots with sort of ferns and other sort of rockery type specimens. Thanks, Mick. Part of what he tried to do, this Bateman chap, was set it out into sort of various geographical areas. So we had a Chinese bit, an Indian bit, the Egyptian bit. This is part of the Chinese bit, as you will imagine. Nice sort of Chinese sort of pool there with a brightly painted bridge. And the back piece has got a painted mural on the wall. And at the moment, they're working with conservators to try and find out what the actual mural on the wall was painted with, so that they can actually renovate it back to what it looked like originally. It's still not too bad, but it's showing its age in a few places. Okay, Mick, thanks. So this is the walk up to the urn. My good lady just tracking off in front of me, doing You can see these all these pyramid-shaped conifers in, and it's path to this urn at the top. On a hot day, it's a bit of a trek. Another one of the stumpery there, quite sort of Jurassic-in look, I suppose. It's you expect a dinosaur to come jumping out from behind you. It's absolutely fabulous when you get up close to it. So again, some of the oldest specimen trees that are there. This one had actually got a label on it. This was a type of sequoia, so related to the giant redwoods. Nowhere near as big, of course, but you know, fair side all the same. And they, I remembered this from when we went to this place when I was doing my horticulture training, because the bark on it is soft, quite soft. You can thump it, and it's just like hitting a punch bag. It doesn't really hurt your hand at all, and it's amazing. It's really, really lovely specimen. Okay, so a bit of a what's called a tree fern, back again at the back of the stumpery area. These obviously will grow in people's gardens over here, but you need to monted on, just wrap up the fern bit at the top and keep the crown of it dry over the winter time to stop any rain getting in and rotting it. Okay, next. Yeah, yet more of the stumpery, as you can guess, my favourite area. I really like this. It's actually sort of when all the trees are actually full in leaf and all the other plants have grown over, it actually causes quite a sort of canopy and makes it a bit sort of dark and spooky. But yeah, sort of. Okay. So this was okay, come out too good on this one. This was a snowball viburnum, and again quite a strong scent on it allegedly. Latin name is Viburnum opulus, from what I remember. It's certainly a stunner. Another of the rhodies, this time with a bit of a sort of decorative centre to it.
Nice.
Yeah. You just think, you know, that on a sort of bush that's about 20 foot across, you know, it's certainly a sight to see. Excuse me. Now, that's another one, almost in a tree form this time. Again, sort of rhododendron like the others. We were going to have a trip up to what is known as the Dorothy Clive Garden, which is another one on the sort of Shropshire, Cheshire, Staffordshire border, a place just outside Whitchurch, near where Bridgemere Garden Centre used to be. But, we decided against that one because that one's on even more of a quarry and there's a lot of villas and down dales and things like that. But that's another one that's worth visiting at this time of year for the rhodies and the azaleas and stuff. Thanks, Mick. So you can see there, nice sort of mixture. They've got a rhododendron there, azalea, the yellow azalea lutea in the middle, and another rhodie at the back there, just to sort of set them off. Absolutely packed out with sort of bees and little flies and things like that. That's looking across the sort of the lake there. It's not a massive lake, some massive carp in it, but not a massive lake. And see how they've sort of laid part of the rhododendron beds out at the back of the lake to sort of just sweep over it, and all the trees in the background. And that was it. That was my day out last Friday.
Well, you've got the weather for it.
Oh, it was cracking. The only thing wrong with it, we decided we'd set off just before lunchtime and have some lunch there, because it says on the website hot and cold food in the cafe.
Yeah.
But the cold food was a sandwich, and the hot food was a Cornish pasty or a sausage roll. But, you know, it was what it was. It was a nice day out.
Yeah.
Not overly expensive, and you know, plenty to sort of see. And later on in the year, they were just actually starting putting the stakes in now. But there's a big sort of what we call a dahlia walk, and it's sort of it's terraced up on both sides of a long sort of footpath. So it's absolutely jam-packed with dahlias. and they were saying they were just putting the stakes out to sort of support them when we were there. So presumably in about another sort of month's time, the plants will be out and possibly with the flowers showing as well. So you know, something to see on more than just the sort of spring day. You know.
Yeah, brilliant. Lovely, thanks for that, Nigel.
Just outside Congleton it is, if anybody knows where Congleton is.
I've heard of that.
Congleton and Leek.
Oh.
The two.
Lovely, cheers, Nigel.
No worries, my pleasure.
Good man. Right, me and Rushan, I take you different places for walks. This is another, something else I found. This is where the council staff started throwing all the leaves and a few weeds there and branches and stuff. And I thought, if I just get in there and have a nose, might find a good dollop of worms and nothing, but it was naff. But worth a try. Different trees walking around now, loads of blossom coming on. Some have got no scent whatsoever. Some of them smell superb. Right, Gladys. 7 different lots going on. Usually 3 or 4 day intervals. Try and time for our show. This should be 1, 2. This will be the 3rd bed. As you can see, there is 3 rows going in. I'm working on this 9 inches apart just to get them all in. If I got the room, I'd give them 12 inches apart. This is the biggest, but I ain't got the room like I used to have on the plot, so it's 9 inches apart. And I've left gaps like this one here where there ain't much room. That's when I've got 10 trims going in there, and there's another raised bed where I've got trims going. But we'll see that later on. Right, my raised bed's coming out the patio area. See, me tulips have started going off. So I've collected all the top dressing, i.e. the straw, because I've got to prepare these beds, obviously, for my gladdies. So as soon as the flowers have job, the tops, then I'll take them up. Also, if you remember the white bells, bluebells down here, most of them have died off now. That's another flower, that white one there. So it's just taking up all the green and pulling that up, because there is stuff under there trying to see daylight and come back into life. So I'm just helping that out as well. That's Rushan with a little baby. Right, when I went to that farmer's talk, there was a bloke there and they got a stand on with this stuff, biochar. We got talking, and he gave me a bag. I said a mate does that. He says, well, try this and give me a bag. So I'm going to start putting a fistful of that in with all my growing medium. Like looking at this chap here, he needs potting on. This is my giant Cape gooseberry. Well, you can see he needs potting on because his root, not root bound yet, but he's telling you, pot me on. If you remember when I started most of the stuff on there, I put the hamster muck on the bottom as well, and if it's in the newspaper as well, just to cover the holes in the pot. So we're potting him on. So next pot size up, got to do the same again, cover the holes on the bottom, and I'm doing exactly the same again, putting more hamster muck in it, because there's no strength in it whatsoever, but you've got the goodness in the muck itself. There's no strength in the sense it's going to burn the roots of the whatever you're going to put in. So that's the pot is coming out on, so I've just lifted that same level, put some stuff under him, and then I know he's going to fit straight in the hole. He's got a nice strong stem, then you just pick him up by the stem, if not, and either side of the roots itself. So fistful in my growing medium. This to pack him in once he's in there, and then give him a good watering. Rainwater, greenhouse temperature. Once I've watered with a small hose, or even a water bottle, then it'll get watered in a small watering can. This is another trial in the greenhouse with 4 carrots, 3 seeds per station. It's doing well, we'll come on to him later on. Bird feeders at the top here. The water, I'm filling that twice a day now, if I'm done for the little chaps. Right, pot sizes. Don't forget these are classed as raised beds. But if you've got something like this one's got 3 holes in, which is solid plastic. If you've got something like that, which is metal, this was from Wilco a while back. I wish I could have a few more while I was out. You can't get them now. There's only 1 hole in the middle, meaning because our surface, our back garden slopes this road and that road, is not level. So I've got a say 6 inches of cane under him to make him level. Because if he's off skew in your water and it gets collecting, if it doesn't run out the middle and collect it up this corner, say, then you're going to knock them roots off. So I'll just help him out. Be aware. So I've got 4 holes in him, so 4 flat bricks. Right, we mixture again, nice bit of brew under them. This is when they get to the bottom. There's 4 of them I've got to do. So I get the lot done together. And then I water that lot while it is level, so it stays covering that paper. And this is what I've got to put on. There's some I'm going to split, like that one I'm going to split him quite easily because he's got a good bit of meat on him. Especially this weather now, they're getting a good move on. And that one, you can do with splitting and all. Exactly the same again, I'm getting my compost out. Because I'm still adding here, I'm just scraping the top 2 inches away and then getting my compost out there. And that will mix with my other bits and pieces, which are all the same ingredients from my compost. You're still going to make a good dry medium. That's what I want to see, nice wide thick roots. Right, I've got him the same level again. Next pot size up. I've also started getting a leaf mould with the ruche. This is a leaf mould from still under the trees, but nature is breaking the leaves down for me in the sense that people walking on them or whatever, they're getting crumbly. So I get a poo bag full of leaves, bring them back, and then I rub them out by me both hands, and they come out in this state, which is still leaf mould, but in a dry form, which is a good additive for your dry medium. And I'll get one of them every morning. Beautiful stuff. Don't forget they're all natural products, so they're going to break down. And I'm going to hang on to moisture, what's in here. If that was just multi-purpose compost, you water or feed that, it'll just run straight through and the roots will take up what they want. There's nothing in there or not much in there to hang on to anything. If you've got nice big lumps in like I have, or bigger lumps in compost, it will hang on to stuff. That's what I want to see. Hyphae roots coming off normal roots. That's as close as I can get again before they went out of focus. Although I do take the worms out if they're in pots, you will still get worms in because like in there, that's a worm egg. There's another one there. So if I pick all the worms out, put them back in the bin, these hatch out a couple of days after. So you still get worms in the pot. Right, that's filled him up level. Take him out, there's your mould. No gaps or anything. It's going to be a nice clean fit. Right, this one, because it was nice and mature in the sense I could pick him up by holding that end with my left hand and this hand with my right hand, just picking him up level. Obviously put him in nice and upright. Then I pack around the compost around the outside, never press down the middle. Just put back on that one again. These things are off eBay. Just putting the names on and I'm China, them crap as you can see. And after a couple of weeks, because wherever they're made from, I just open up, start butting, then go out the window. Nice water again as normal. These are the Durban canna. You get the sun behind these. Originally I had this one just for the leaf, the colours you get on the leaf. It's superb, and the flower you get is a bonus. Before roses, scented rose, well, I had 5. Well, I got 4 out of the 5. Obviously he's doing the best in the middle. He was a bit slow. Well, I got them 4. He has caught up now. And that one, nothing. So I've emailed him, just waiting for a comeback. Because we're still getting cold nights, even now. I think it was down to 6 again last night. So my peach is still in the greenhouse. It was in the tunnel, but I need the space. And also my lemon tree still in the greenhouse. But as soon as the sun goes off everything, this is having a weekly foliar feed. Epsom salts 2 weeks ago, then last week I think it was liquid fish hydrolyzate. But everything gets it. There you see the lemon. Loads of these from seed, we tried from made from Canada. In fact, I seen it on the news last night and anything about it. They got they call it not flash fires, but they got fires in near Quebec in Canada. They call them something when the wind whips up. The speed the fires are going to, and the smoke's even gone to New York. That's how fierce they are. But luckily, my mate's the other side of it, so he's well, I've told him to stay safe. But these lot, the new greenings, are all seed from him, which are going to be virus free. Because I've had some which are virus, which we'll come on to later on. Propagator, that's the only each I've got in the greenhouse now. Obviously, the small stuff. The tulips have got to come out of here as well, because there's obviously your roses are going on each corner. Because I've got 4, I'll put one in each corner. So I might have to move some stuff. But the tulips are coming out. There's still 2 in flower then, but the rest of them, see, I've got out. And once I'm getting the tulips up, then this is ideal in the tunnel, top of the garden. Because of the ventilation, it's got netting around all the bottom. So whichever way the wind's coming from, I've got ventilation there, and as you can see, the door is netted as well. So it dries them out perfectly. Stone fruit, this was a couple of weeks ago, probably 3 weeks ago. Cut back to about 6 inches on each one. Column fruit. Right, them 2 beds have been done, as you can see. That one's got 2 tulips in. These are going to be for gladies as well. I did them in this last year, and did well out of them. Since last year, I put 2 more beds up there. I never had them last year. But it's just utilising more space, because the hound comes out the back door and legs it over there. He's never going to go up this road. And there's back, which we'll see later on, the back of them, there's a row of prims going in as well. So that's them 2 taken out. This has had a bit of bone mealing, then watered well, and then covered with the weed suppressant. And there's plastic netting on, because the cats, foxes, or whatever wants to have a nose round. This is another raised bed. This last year I had me a giant Cape gooseberry, and it did well in there. Not the giant, sorry, the normal Cape gooseberry. I think made John Murphy. I managed to get it hold of some seed of the giant, and that's what's growing in this year. Sorry, was good in there. But then I counted up my gladies, and I need this bed as well for the gladies. So I took all the straw off first because I'm going to use that again. Like all my raised beds, the same as the pots. Once there's something in, they then top dressed with the straw and the rabbit muck. That keeps the moisture in. But there, that's the size of the root ball of my cake gooseberry from last year. So you need a good raised bed or a good sized pot for them. That's how much roots I put on. So all I've gone down is say 3.5 inches, which is a handful depth. I'm not going to disturb the soil underneath itself. I'm not going to disturb nature. Bit of bone meal in there, just 14 as we can see, leveled off. Right, this is me fish hydrolysate or liquid fish. 1 litre of water, all you need is 1 drop. That is 1 mil. Give it a good shake. You just about see there the clearness going off. For house plants of water with it. I'll do them as well. Right, I need some more compost out because it doesn't matter whether you have pots or raised beds. Every year they drop down from compaction. Not because you're treading on it, because of the rain. The rain compacts it. And it's surprising how much they do drop down, so I'm just filling up. Because it's a good brew out of the compost anyway, then this is where, if I'm top dressing in a raised bed, I leave the worms in, because that's where I want the worms. So I'll just bung that lot out, spread it out. If it ain't enough, then I get some more out. But you know it's a good brew, because you've made it yourself. Good watering. Then I notice this little chap. So I've squashed him finger and thumb. The other 3 raised beds at the bottom by the patio, they drop down as well, but I don't have any tulips. Yes, Lizzie.
What was that little chap?
Sorry?
What was it? It squashed.
That little chap, not too sure. But I've had him before, and I know he's a baddie.
Okay.
So I've just jobbed him, just in case.
Okay, thanks.
Because I'm well, up to me babbies there, and me eggs. There's still loads of eggs in there, and me worms. So I'll just spread that out evenly, and the topper. Give it a good watering, and then cover it with weed suppressant. This keeps that moisture in, especially this weather. Then I have to net it across the top as well. Stop the wind blowing off and the squirrels, cats and whatever. And just let nature look after itself. Let the worms do the digging. Right, these 3 raised beds, so this is the right side of the garden coming down. I've utilised another 3. Last year I think I had the beds going that far. But at the end, if you remember last week or week before, I put my sweet peas, my net's up there, so it's only sweet peas on that end. And I put that little climbing frame, so they leg it up that netting, and up this netting. So this end, majority of the beds will have gladioli in. That's what we got from the bring and buy. Whatever that I'm doing. So all I'm doing is collecting the straw again off the top. That'll be going again soon. I need them top dressing as well. So I top dress them lot. This stuff I've just got out. Level it. If it needs more, I'll put more on. Right, measuring these out. I was gluing 2 across, but I'll get 1 in the middle as well, giving them a 9 inch between, as we can see there. So that's 9 inches either way. I did that with the 3 beds. So I've got my labels out ready for the gladius to go in. I think that was the day after. Right, around the back of the shed where, no, I caught nothing with it, but it's a good place for my leaf mould. There's also wood chip mixed with topsoil. I tried that a few years ago. Because it's small wood chip and you've got the topsoil in, They both help to break down each other. Obviously, I'm moist when I seal the bag up and nature gets going. I've got a couple of air holes in the bottom, but I need another leaf mould, so that's what I'm getting out. And there's the chap, because every leaf that went in was water as well. A couple of holes in the bottom, but this is a superb growing medium. I've used that much this year. This is my last bag. You will get worms in the leaf mould, but it'll be more bacteria fungi that will break it down. And there's the old eggs, that's what I want to see as well. But this was at the bottom of the bag where obviously all the moisture was, because that's where the worms are going to go. They've got to stay moist to breathe through the skin. But that lot is rubbed out by both hands as well, and then bunged in your bag. Multi-purpose compost, a clover, plus my compost. Take the worms out, put them back in the bin, because they're going into a tub. Right, same level again. Or now that growing medium is going around the outside of the pot. Perfect. That is pushed down by fingers. Nicely firmed in. Beautiful stuff. The canners, I tried this with canners last year, and they love it. They kick up stuff. The thing is, you're going to have a big pot, because once they start going now, as you'll see new shoots coming up here, and these will multiply rapidly, especially this weather. And you've got to water a good watering every 3 days. If you ain't got a good size sturdy pot, they'll be top heavy or they get a busted pot. But that's what I want to see. Nice white thick roots, superb. So I'm lifting this one as well. It's still on the tray, so I'm going to lift. That's a nice sturdy shoot, so I'm going to lift them there again with my left hand, and that one with my right hand. There's a photo of each. So both hands, just lift him up, place him straight in the hole. Perfect. Make sure he's nice and upright. I'll then turn the pot sideways so it is more 45 degree, so he's upright that way as well. And as you can see, that's where I've pushed down the growing medium, because that level is the level I want him. Taking the worms out again, top dressing, but that mixture, that leaf mould and my stuff in there, beautiful stuff. Good watering when we've finished, and the worms go back in their compost. These are the last 2 raised beds. That's the ones. That's my last one there with the sweet peas on the end. So you can see how much they've dropped from last year. So the nets come off, and then a bit of weeding, not a lot. That's a bit of photo of the 2 raised beds. So I've took the straw off, now just forking over, and because of disturbance, the worms are coming up. I think it's rain or whatever, but it's still a good brew underneath from last year. But I'm just leveling that off, and now I'm adding my growing medium. And if this drops down again before I come to use it, then you'll have some more stuff on it. So far I've just got away because I've only got 1 compost bin now, but I'm getting away with it. But I have got some out yesterday, and I've hit the slab on one area. It means I'm getting close to using it all, although I've potted that much stuff on this year, the canners and that, because I want a good growing medium under the raris, plus top dressing all the raised beds, but it's working. So that's the rest of my old leaf mould. So he's telling you he needs potting on again. These were nice solid pots. I think it was as dried them from. They're superb. I've just, all the families had them now. I think they'd rather have something like that than something saft or something they don't want. Raised bed, this is filling up slowly. these are my gladdies that went out, started spurting. They were telling me, plant me out. So 2 went that side. I'm just waiting for, there's 1 here and 1 at the end. I've sent away for 2 little small plants that are scented as well. Just waiting for them to come in the post. But that's the last of the daffodils out of here. Give me a bit more room. I'll take them in the tunnel and dry them off. Some people leave them in. I mean, we leave a few in down the bottom of the garden border. But they will get small, the flowers themselves will get smaller each year because they throw young. And it is best to get them up, split them. And then just plant the 1 bulb next year. But I've got my 4 roses out ready, as you can see there. These need going out. Everything that does go out gets a pinch of mycorrhizal fungi in the hole. I started using it in the greenhouse a few years back, and I run out of room in the greenhouse. That's how good it is. So now I don't use it till I plant out. So final position. If I've got to move a plant to get him out, then I'll move him. So I've just got to make him out that corner. He'll go somewhere else, another gap. Which is there. Now I've got room. So the same depth as the pot, then I'll backfill with this lot around the pot. Here's my mound. Bit of mic in the hole. Put my babby in. That's a sweet pea I've dug up. I thought, well, I ain't going to lose him. So I'm putting my sweet peas back in the shed. Get him a good watering. If I do lose him, I ain't lost nothing. Nice roots. There's me bit of gump on the bottom. So another row's gone in that corner. Another roll out, and this corner. Beautiful. Right, usually every 3 days I give everything a good watering as soon as the sun goes off. So my gladdies, that was my first bed. So the greenhouse is here. Second bed was these. Third one was a bed down here. And that last one there. The 4th bed. Before I went to the beds down the bottom. That's where my bin is. I can still walk through down there. I've got a gap to get to my bin. Well, with all my corbets in these, and there's 2. I've got 4 fruit trees there, and just make out. There's 1 pot, then 2 pots in between them fruit trees, and them are corbets as well. Because I ain't got enough room down there, but them are doing well. And my babbies for future years. If I get a good marriage, then keep them. But surprised how much weight to these need. I'm going to start at the bottom, go all the way down, and then come back up again and do it again. This was one of them 3 bottles of beer we had from the farm tour. I think the ale house was down Wales somewhere. But not a bad pint. Right, Andy asked me about the canners that the council left in, which are there. And they started spurting it. What they have done, because all this was covered in weeds, I've cut everything back, as you can see there. Luckily, they've left the canners in, so they did know that was there. But there's still no sign, although it is a bit early. So another couple of weeks, then there should be signs. Right, I prepared that bed. Now I've got my sand ready to go under them, and my corners. So we started at the corner. That's 5 inches deep, my trowel, so that's the depth. A bit of sand goes in, then I put my gladdy in, then the grey medium out the next hole goes into that hole, that fills that one, and I work my way across there. So the grey medium out of the first hole went in the bowl, just work my way along. Find a stone. I've had this bed for years. How the hell did he get in there? Anyway, got rid of him. So there's my there's a bit of sand. Last year I used vermiculite, but this sand I got loads of it. It was having growing cabinet in the loft, so I'm utilising that and just working my way along. So that was my first hole. You know, that's my last one, so that's what he's doing. I'll just let nature further top down. It's got to be weighted anyway. There it is. The labels have been left in, and there's the label with the date they've gone in. So many corbs every 3 or 4 days. So I've got the dates and everything, so I've got a rough idea next year. I know it all changes with different weathers, and patterns, different size gladies, but everyone's in the same boat. Right, these lot are now starting going, because I've that large bed at the top of the garden, I've still got a few more to put in, looks like here. So I'll move down to this bed. So you can see there's a 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 11 gone into that bed there. There's 2 left, so he's going to go into this one. I did have a few ants in here. So I'll put a bit of ant powder out down just to help them out. Right, this one is Stuttgart. It's a Boston leaf and a Boston flower. But I sent a photo to my mate in Canada, and he said he's got a virus, which you haven't seen. If you look closely, you'll see it in the leaf. Virus in the leaf. Meaning, if you mess with them and then touch one of these, you've got a chance of it spreading. So I got rid of them. But I got rid of them down, I put one down Crazy Town, because they got their bank. He's after flowers and plants. But if you've got the virus, it's ain't going to affect him. You don't know. It'll still flower. The rest was okay. Mine, turbans, which I knew anyway. Right, there's a gap at the back. That's where I've got enough there to get my prims in. I was going to fill that with a good dry medium, but I thought, well, to fill it, I'm only going to get it out again to put my gladies in. In fact, the first lot go in here. It's either this one, this bed, or like at the top of the garden. In fact, I might put them in here. Tomorrow is my first day for my prims. But the last of the tulips are going to come out there as well. Or I've got enough room to get a low in. These lot are drying out nicely, exactly the same when I dry the onions on. Storing them, so you should store the onions in nets in the garage. The more you dry them out, the longer they keep. And it works with everything. So that's my small bed, obviously. So that's put away in the shed ready for next year. I don't need him anymore. As soon as these come through, that straw, which was top dressed on the bed, will come out again and protect them while you keep the moisture in. Right, joined cake gooseberry. He's put a bit of meat on. Need to plant him out soon. Here's a gap I've got for my prims. You can see that'll be better now. Perfect. I'll clean that lot out. Still got that netting on. Because we've got a new cat from somewhere. Little thing. Spent coffee grounds. Add another load of that off. Tesco, rubbing that out, drying it out. I have to check these now every 2 or 3 days, the grapevines. Because now, because I'm waiting as well, a bit of feeding, I've started putting on loads of meat. And that's what I want, just to train them across the top of the greenhouse. Just tie them in, persuade them. I'm also still taking any new buds off. Anything here. I want all that nourishment going to the shoot length of the greenhouse. I hope Jerry Edwards is on tonight. I don't know, I'm not sure if he is or not. But this little chap here was a cherry porthos. He don't look very good. So if I snap him, we'll cut him off. There is a bit of I mean, he's not completely dead. I might send him the email in the photo, ask him. But now I'm able to see stuff. Now I've pulled all the tops of the bluebells and whitebells out. I'm seeing stuff that is trying to come through. It looks much better now, it's nice and clear. There's another new chap, whatever he is. If there's any old stuff on there, I'll take the old stuff away. Any of them, they go in the green bin as well. So this is working my way down the garden, still taking the shoots off the tops of the green tops of the bells. That's halfway down. Climbers are doing well as well. And there's a little chap I didn't want to see. He's coming from next door on the creeping ivy crap. So I got down as far as I could, and then leant over the fence and sprayed it next door where I could see him. But I messaged him during the week. Yesterday, messaged him all. He's got mice in the back garden under me 2 raised beds, which when my prims are going, misses through bloody hates them. We had to move them from the first house, the terraced house, because we had mice. So it's going to clear it. I've given him a public warning. Alstrom area, they were doing well, especially this weather. And because it was wood chipped on bark, look for slugs as well. There's a little horror there. But this keeps the moisture in. Obviously for the raised bed I use straw. But in the 2 groin borders I use wood chip, because that's a natural product anyway. Keeps the moisture in, and eventually it will break down. Once it breaks down, it disappears, and I'll top dress with more wood chip. Perfect, that's done that lot. Right, getting some more bedding out. This was from Paul, got me these from B&Q. Seen his gaffer up there. Got us a load for the bring and buy. So there's 2 of these going out. This is on the side. Yep, he's telling me he needs to go out. Because on the front I've got all my trading scented petunias. Makes a difference having them scented, especially this weather. Also these, looking at these, I thought if I get some exactly the same again as my raised bed, put some in here as well, that'll cover this lot. So yep, that's what I'll do. Right, this lot got from the bring and buy. That's going out and all. Did have a gap there. Before I thought about the petunias, I thought I'll put these out. Me and Russian up the park, for some reason, greenkeepers or grass cutters, they cut the grass for quite a while. And the council houses, if there's pensioners in bungalows, they cut their grass as well. And theirs was 2.5 foot high. First time I've ever seen it like that. They're all on strike. And the same as the parks here. In Rodham. Bunging the last of them in. Dead-ending as we go along. One thing when we had a speaker, which we've gone to a bit, while I'm still on my rose, you mentioned black spot on rose. If you just feed high potash, says to water fertiliser, liquid, which I've got, so just feed them that, it'll get rid of it, and pick them up, just keep dead-ending. Right, my first canner's going out. This is a dwarf canner, pink, so he's going out there. There's 3 going out this year. There's in, who will obviously be in the raised bed, and there's 2 big ones going out on the right hand side, top and bottom of the side bedding. Right, them I've just put out, that good watering. That was another one somebody mentioned a couple of weeks ago about you can't transplant carrots. I did it up at school with the kids, so this was another trial for sure. Yes, you can. Dead-ending and training him to come this road, not grow the other road. although they are all pointing this way. Some of them will try and go the other way. Right, in he's moving, the canner's got to go in there. So I'll get my mate out as much root ball as I can, plant him up, water him first, and I'll sort me all out for my canner. Bit of mic under his Harris. Perfect. Right, he is going in there. We'll see when he comes out, like end of the season. Yep, he's potting on. Once again, he's staying the same level as the top of the pot. I'm just firming him around the outside. I've got to clear this lot out as well. Obviously, everything's dying off. You've got to make room for everything else. There's one what's hiding. You see, he's just coming back into life. All the old crap that'll be cut off, and anything else that falls out. Just there's loads of bluebells and white bells in here as well. So all the old rubbish is pulled out. That's a bit better. See my sweet peas up this side. Them are starting going up. There's my netting on the top. Sweet peas there. In fact, I'm all up the length of it. But they ain't going to be as good as that lot down there. But we'll see how we go. Right, that's my carrot sorted. Give him a good watering. That's my little tater which I found in my compost. Potting him on as well. This is another carrot experiment in, well, not experiment because I know it works anyway. But this was, I think, 3 seeds per station. But I'm just top dressing because that's dropped as well, as you can see. So I'm just top dressing him, holding these carrots up right as well. Give him a good watering. That one's a bit small, so I'll put a little greenhouse over it. Hopefully he'll catch up with these lot. Right, 2 more fruit trees there to sort out. So I'm using one of these pots. Nice big brick to go over. Don't forget there's only one hole in the middle, one large hole, and I don't want him to get blocked. So I surround with these are small pebbles. I'm just going to close up on them. That's one of the large. You know, on the top of that, without any disturbance of that, just put my hamster hook. If there's any worms in, I'll take them out. Have some here on the front. Hold it up nicely now. Right, as I rhododendron shrub feed. This is in pellet form. I'll just crush that even more. Obviously, it's going to powder form is better than, well, it's quick release more so than pellet form. Same as grow more pellet form. If you make it into a powder form, you can use it straight away. It's going to take a while to break down. It's a small pot with me blueberry in. Yeah, big enough yet to go in a large pot. There's one of the best blueberry. He's ideal in this pot, he loves it. And there's loads of fruit on this year. But I'm just giving a feed to everything. It's got ericaceous compost in it. Loving it. Right, another fruit tree needs potting on. So I'll get that bucket in there. I just need to build him up with it right now. He's had a fish full of spent coffee grounds as well. This is a good feed. Because it's a natural product. That's a photo I sent of me dead rose. And that one, no sign of any root on it. There's the badges have we got there. Right, that chap's going in there. So I'm filling it up so I've got the same height again. I don't want to mess on the bottom, so I'll put an empty compost bag to catch any dribble, anything like that. That is nice and level. Large pot. Get me mould. I can pick him up by the stem because he's nice and compact. Anything like this, just give him a good watering about 2 days before. And if he has got a few roots around him, they'll come out in one lump, which he has done there. Now you got to get him upright. So you look that road, turn him around 45 degrees, which is a bit off there. So straighten him up that way as well. There's another pots level. And now he's nice and then I've pack all the way around here. And he will stay in this pot now for a couple of years. So I'm just leveling up before I start watering again. Make sure he's still level. 2 watering cans he had on here. And then let him dry out because he's too heavy with the weight of the water. Right, glad he's coming out again. This is a next lot. It's usually 2 days or a day before. I've got to prepare them ready to go. So I want the nearest shoot, nearest to the middle, the strongest one. So the rest will come out from my tater peeler, as I've done there. See, I've dug him out, and there's one on the left hand side there. That bedding I put out earlier on, so this is the next day. Once I obviously firmed them in, then give them a good weighting. Now I'm going to put more wood chip around them to set up and stop them drying out and help to keep them upright. So I've done all them down the side and anything else that needed. Russian is looking for a big lump of rain on. Right, this is a dahlia. He ain't done too good the last couple of years. Don't do well with dahlias anyhow. But that's my excuse to get him out. That's where the canner's going to go. So this is the end of the right hand side of the bed before it be raised beds. So that lot's coming out. Perfect. Not sure which one I'm going to bung in yet. But it starts spurging. This is behind the raised bed, middle of the garden, where I plant sweet peas in between the trellis, and I started going through the middle, so I've had to bring them forward, obviously, otherwise I ain't going to see the flowers when they come on. So this lot I'm helping them stay on the front, which is working. Right, as soon as these are dried up, then they'll be topped and tailed, which I've done there. So I've got them in tall and short and whatever. Yeah, them are dried off enough for me. Them are the short. I'll then give them a few more days for the rest of this lot to dry off the roots. I've got to take the old skins off. Oh, here's which I'd have Sue from our gardening club. They were showing new leaves, so I know they've cut it and doing well. And I'll support them on later on. These are 2 new ones I had this year from, I think these from. Can't remember, but these are going in the raised bed. Because they're only about a foot high. I'm putting them on the front, but you can still see stuff of them. Because the stems are that thin, you can see straight through them. But it gives you an extra bit of colour.
We're going to put there's already the net already out, but we're going to hire the net up a little bit higher tomorrow.
Somebody mute their speaker.
Yes, and
they'll just come on.
Yes, and put some more.
I can't see who it is. Can everybody see who it is? Right, canners from seed. These have got to go potted on their next pot size up.
Yes, if he picks any, he'll put them in the porch for you.
Somebody just come on. Could you mute, please? I can't see who it is from here. Right, same level again, as we can see. Right in the middle, firm him out. Yeah, he's telling you. But I'll start going around the older place. Put me on. Happy fireworks. These are field sown canna seeds. Meaning it's a field miles from anywhere. So there's no cross pollination. He knows them virus free stock seed. And well, basically I know they're going to be good. Because them from his decent seed. Lucifer is another good one. Obviously he's a red one. They get a good leaf as well. Right, that propagator used to be down the bottom. It's now lifted to the top. So I mentioned before, he's still left on. So I've still got a few little chaps in there growing away. I did clean him out. But I'm still using him. Was on a night because it gets cold in the greenhouse still. There's my canners and other little chaps I'm getting there. I'm leaving on the floor switched on. Right, banana skins in rainwater again. I'm still using that as watering the house plants in the house, obviously. One dry leaf tells you water me. Keep on top of them. Lynn's birthday last week, so I went for a meal with the lads. Banks's mild I used to drink years ago. Very many places do Banks's now. They do. Beautiful. The lads have Guinness. I'll stick to me mild. Pet likes of vodka. Was Linda like liver? So while I'm out, I had liver, bacon, and onions. Could have given me mushy peas, but all choice. Obviously gravy. I don't eat it as a salad. Yes, thank you very much. Pudding went down well as well. These again with a hound. Something like this, even if them, you think they're going to do nothing with them, they're going to break down. Just take them all dry and just rub that by hand and break down to small pieces, and you can use them. Right, little clot is still on me carrot. Let's take him off. But what we're going to do now is thin him out. So there's 3 per station. If we go back on that one, there's only 1 come there. I think it's 2 there, 2 there, 3 there. So I want to pick the ones that are closest size to him. Then the others, I'm going to cut off with scissors. Then there's no root disturbance to disturb him. Then we'll do. He's still a bit small, so I'm leaving the clutch on him. Like so. Right, last 2 beds. Gonna be glad he's in. Exactly the same again. 5 inches deep. Still got loads of silver sand left. Then go underneath. Keep them in line as much as you can. That's still one side. To the side to do. Start doing him as well. The last bed, which is this in here. So that's them 2 done. Gotta cover. Delphiniums. Well, they just started coming through here now. They're in the prime. There's a bit behind. Same again, 9 inches apart. There's my little babies coming through. See what the hell's going on. But looking at that, you can see some good dry medium. It's not just topsoil or multi-purpose compost. And obviously the date of every bed, I'll put stuff in that goes at the back, which he is there. So I've been through that lot, got these 2 to go through. Well, I'm going to start tying these up because I forecast heavy storms here tomorrow. It's going to be hot, but you've got the storm shells as well. One thing about delphiniums, once they get wet, then the weight of them comes over. But sweet peas there, you can see them coming through. All they've got to do is in that net, then they'll hang on to them. Right, I've got these secured, canes at the back. I'm going to tie the delphinium up, so I'll go through him. So I'll just put the string through, and then just put my scissors through, grab hold of him, and pull him through, so I can't get my fingers through. That's what I've done there. There's my sweet peas going up in the back, seeing better. 8-foot canes, before I left the training sheds, I've got nicked all the straightens, the solid straightens. Perks. I've started clearing the shed out, first time ever. He's still doing well. I still can't put him outside yet. He's still too dodgy with the cold nights. But these are coming on now. I've moved them on. that one I'm going to keep an eye on. That's another one I bought in. And I'm going to send a photo to my mate in Canada every week. If them stay on all the leaves, then he's got a virus. But so far, it's clear. That's another one that was bought in. We'll see how we do. I took 3 of these to the bringing boy. This one's a virus young seed in there as well. I got rid of these yesterday. Come on to that later on. But the others nice and clean. There's one photo I sent to Sylvain, Canada. Nice specimen, don't worry for the moment. I'll send me a photo next week. This one look okay for now. New leaf needs to fix dark pigmentation. As I just mentioned, them look a bit dodgy, but that was the first leaves. So this one showed clear virus streaks, definitely infected. So they went straight in the bin. This is sorting out me canes for me peas. When I started growing my exhibition peas. The distance for the canes are on these 4 straight ends. And I've got me secures at the back, so the string just goes round the line I'm secured to around the back, and then knot it. Put your first knot, then put a bit of spit on that, pull that tight, and that goes nice and solid. And once you put the other knot in, it dries solid. It shouldn't move. So that's 4 canes in there ready. There's the wires I'm secured to. Next lot will go on then on my raspberries and these up here, which I've just got the canes ready for them as well. This is the back of the shed, and 4 canes went in there. These are for exhibition peas as well. Any new growth comes up from the outside or on the sides and full out. Strawberries, lost them all. Well, I should have looked after them better, I suppose. Somewhat else, nothing less than I've learned. Right, I still need netting across here because of the vermin that dig everything up, foxes, cats or whatever. So I'm going to cut through that and bung it at the back, which I've done there. And Russian likes the lumps of rabbit buckamole. I know there's nothing here yet, but I still water it when I'm doing the normal watering because I don't want that soil to tick over. I want it to be a living soil, meaning if you keep it moist, it is living. If it dries out, if it's just ticking over, it ain't doing nothing. So when you do plant out, the soil is ready for you. Less hassle. Here's another one that's got a string, just 3 altogether. Right, going in different places to get the leaf mould. Different leaves, obviously, different brews. But roses so far, been a good year for roses. So there's the first lot I put in. So the first row I put in was at the front, then work my way back. Meaning these should be the first to come out. The first ones are ready. So I'm not reaching over, disturbing whatever. That was a middle bed, just started coming through. There's the last bed. Just looking down the side again, inside, crocosmia and bits of stuff ferreting away. All looking well. Right, the fence next door, we've panelled down to, back on there, we've panelled down to here between us. I went ours with the fence, otherwise it would have done sod all. Because we've got the dog as well, it did need doing. So I said I'd pay off, but he'd only go down to here. So there's 3 panels, but it is his fence. And when I got in touch with him, he's going to come and sort the back garden out and put 3 new fence panels in here. So this is just looking from the back end of it, our porch, up. You see the the old panels are there that they've got to straight away, and this crap is putting that lot away as well. So hopefully that'll be sorted out soon-ish. This will be better for me, the hound, and anything else. Right, these 3 tubs of carrots, I never planted them deep enough. Another cock up. But this stuff here, which got up the side of the garden, I had spare. So I've got me a nice Stanley knife and I've cut strips off. They'll be perfect to fit in the middle of there, taped up. Because if you can see in there's a gap between the top of that carrot and the carrot itself. So that's got to be top dressed up to there. But I've got no lip on there, so I'm going to put my lip on. This is the stuff they put in the edge to stop the garden material coming onto the astroturf. So that's what I'm using, and that's what I've cut up. So I'll put one in, perfect. Give them a nice shape. I want him, and then get a bit of black tape from Wilco, seal it. That's better. Now I can fill that up. That's done the 3. Mix me multi-purpose compost with my silver sand. Bung that in, mix it all up, perfect, growing medium for carrots. That's all I used to use, F2S, for my carrots. Save mixing, feeding, putting different feeds in, everything. But the F2S was too expensive. I think it was only 11 quid a bag last time I looked. Just make your own up, put silver sand in. So once that gets a bit, once it drops a bit when you wet it, then I'll fill him up again. But it holds the carrot tops up as well. And there's one small one in there, so I've still got a greenhouse in there. Just make sure they're nice and level again, that road until the road. And they are perfect. Another job out of the road. This is the one that was going in the bin, but I took it up to the Cradley Town Football Club. It was the gaffer asked Paul, who bought the plants from B&Q, if he can get some off his gaffer again. And they put some plants out. Well, Paul put these out. I think I only bought them a bloody pint. But I thought, instead of binning it, I'll just bung you in there. So this was the afternoon of our talk, Colligate Garden Club. Just me taking a few cannons up. I got 2 for the couple of wenches, Joe and Amy, on our committee, and 1 for the raffle. That's me setting up with a mark, because the speaker we got is going to bring loads of plants in. And that was a watering system he's got, which is better than sod or, but this way I hope he's watering it. Justin, we had him last year, got him this year obviously, we got him again next year. Because he's got a talk for each season, and for each season he brings plants with him, which is good for us and good for him. Because we pay him to go to the talk, and we pay him again to buy his plants off it. He's on his Todd, got his own nursery. I get the name on it. I've sent him some canna seed actually. But this winter now, loads of people have lost loads of stuff. I have lost loads, and he has as well. I think it was 43 grand and worth of stuff he'd lost. Everybody was in the same boat. Stuff was supposed to be, well, take the winter. Couldn't. But he's a good lad. Boston night. Fill the place up. There he is doing his spiel. He does a Q&A as well with everything, if anything. And Ling Griffiths. It was there, and Karen Marsh, they bought a loads of stuff up as well, which we flogged. Good on them. But it was a good night, and that's what I bought back home. The gaffer. And on the side on the raffle and all. Makes a nice change. Lidl. What did I see? Bougainvillea. I went through these lots, and I found one. And I got a nice straightish stem, meaning I can make another standing out of him, like I did with the last one. This is one thing I lost over winter. It was a Boston size. My own bloody fault. Won't do that again. That's how you learn, eh? So this bedding I bought back up, and I rung him 2 days before. I says, do us a favour. Have you got any trailing petunia scented? He says, yes. I says, right, bring me 2 trays, please. I said, what? And I need a rose scented and 2 little, not 2 big shrubs, scented as well. And that's what he bought me. He's a good lad. Most things this year, if we can get them scented, I'm getting them. There's a better photo of the Delps. Boston colours. And the size of the flowers are big and all. And the bee, which is the centre, is black on them. The centre one is a white bee. And the other one is half and half. There's our mate again. And that's it, people. That's past an hour and 10 minutes. Hope you have all enjoyed that. Steve, good
Brilliant,
to see you,
thanks,
mate.
Thanks, Mick.
Excellent. Thank you.
So there'll be a Zoom next week as normal, Thursday 15th. Catherine, good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kath Holmes and all. Dennis as well, he's got it on. Good lad.
Mick.
Thank you, Mick. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
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 Cheers then, people. I'll see
Thank
you all
you.
next week if you can make it.
Yeah.
Cheers,
Good.
Mick. Bye, everyone.
Ta-ra.
See you, Mick. Ta-ra, Mick.
See ya.